Hey, I'm Marcus and I'm playing Crusader Kings 3, and this is the start of a brand new campaign centered in the lower Rhine area in what is nowadays Germany and back then was part of the Holy Roman Empire. So you do see here I'm logged in currently with Kaiser Heinrich IV. I'm not going to stay with him, right? That should be clear from the start. I'm going to play from the very bottom, but I'm going to show you whom I'm playing in a second. First of all, I had to terminate the last campaign, and that was very sadly through the corruption of the save game. I just couldn't repair it. I spent hours and hours trying to fix it, but alas, it was not meant to be. So here we are. I wanted to start a new campaign because I know that, well, at the time of recording this, it is about the middle of July of 2026, and there will be a new expansion on the 30th of September, I think, by Paradox for Crusader Kings 3, and that one will probably change a lot for the game, and I want to play that expansion at that point. So I hope that I can, use these 2.5 months until then meaningfully with this new one here. Now, for anyone who's new to this, or anyone else really as well, just some few words about how I'm approaching this. I do like to roleplay, so this is not a campaign that will focus on conquering lots of territories and that kind of thing if it doesn't suit the character that I'm playing. Instead, I would like to delve into some kind of medieval realism that obviously is very subjective, and you may or may not have your own ideas about that. And if you do, you're welcome to use the comments at any time. I'm definitely reading them. I'm definitely taking them into account. So be critical. I definitely appreciate that. Anyway, so that is my approach. I like to play from the traits that the character has, from their perspective, from their dynastic relations, all these kinds of things, all these contexts that the game creates, and also try to integrate their surroundings into that roleplay. So in the end, we will create some stories that I hope will be entertaining and fun. And if you're new here and you want to see more, there's some backlog. You can go to my channel. There's some playlists of the older campaigns that I've played. I liked all of them. Pick one that you think you're gonna like, and then just go straight into it. Anyways, so what are we doing here? We are playing in the Holy Roman Empire in the year 1066. And I have used a mod that kind of changes the political landscape a little. That one is called Regnum Teutonicum by user Green Eye TV, who's also a viewer of the channel. So shout out to you, mate. This mod kind of adds new dynasties, adds new counties, adds more complexity to the Holy Roman Empire that I think is much needed in the base game for several reasons. And to start, we do have Cologne and Trier and Mainz as archbishoprics. As you do see here, I've kind of changed that to the German title, so it's Erzbistum, and that's archbishopric. And these three here, they were very, very important for the Holy Roman Empire, as in these archbishops were princely electors. Until they were princely electors, actually. I guess way into the late medieval period. Now, it is quite important to have them as archbishops here, because in the base game, and you would have seen that probably if you played in that region, they don't survive very long otherwise, and they are swallowed up by the feudal lords, and then you don't have any archbishoprics here anymore at some point, or even like in the 12th century or whatever. And that never felt right to me. That mod fixes things. I had to do some minor changes as well. That changes. I changed the holdings, right, to churches as well, because otherwise, whenever they would come up with the Kaiser and the Archbishop of Cologne have a special relationship. We'll get into that in a moment. So whenever their titles got revoked, someone else was put in there. If that is a castle, now we don't have an archbishop anymore. So again, I tried to keep them for as long as possible. Anyways, okay, so that is one part. The other concerns the political landscape, especially on the county level. He's done a lot of work in Bavaria and Swabia and what is the Duchy or Markgrafschaft of Nordgau. As you do see here in the base game, this is just one character owning every county. Now we have all these counties here with individual lords in them, individual counts. And this complexity is great because you have so many new characters in here, and that kind of gives more density to the world. And his latest approach has been to look for the Duchy of Lower Lorraine or Lower Lotharingia, which I've again made changes to, and that is again subjective. But his whole approach, again, in this mod is to focus on that lower county tier level. So we do see a lot of counts in here that we otherwise would not have in the base game. We have the Count of Limburg. We have a Count of Hengebach, of Saffenberg, right? So these are all counties that you do not have in the base game. Now they're here. So that's the focus. You could focus differently because this area here is so dense and complex. You could focus on all manners of like different structures. But that is the structure that he chose and that I'm going to play with. I just made some very, some changes are quite severe, but I'm going to get to that in a moment. Right, before we start getting into the area that we're playing in, just a quick look into the Holy Roman Empire in 1066. Of course, it is vast, right? It is this very huge, complex political entity in the center of Europe that is not really defined by ethnicity. It is very much defined by religion. And first of all, it is defined by being the successor of the Roman Empire. That's why it's called the Holy Roman Empire. And that obviously in opposition to the Byzantine Empire here, also, and some would argue more convincingly, called themselves the successor of the Roman Empire. But obviously the Holy Roman Empire here was a creation of the beginning of the 9th century. We have the crowning of Charlemagne, right, in Rome, back when that part here also belonged to it. So the Holy Roman Empire at some point was bigger, also incorporated France. And then the next step, well, there's a gradual decline because the Karolinger, have all these kind of like squabbles in their own family, rivalries, never really satisfied with how they end up dividing their realm. And so there's a little like gradual decline in the empire until the 10th century, and that's when the Saxons take over. We have Kaiser Otto the Great, who incorporates Italy again as well, and then we have this kind of Saxon rule that lasts for, well, not 100 years, but a few generations. And then the Salier take over, and that is where Heinrich comes from. That is his family. The Salier are very much centered around the Rhine area, and that's where they have their allodial estates. So they have lots and lots of land that belongs to them. That is not just given to them like an administrative system where you can take it back or something. No, it belongs to them. So they have this kind of own power base, and that's where they derive their power from. As you do see here, we already have emperors, Kaisers in the lineage here. There was Heinrich III. Before him, we had Konrad. Right. Much to say about Heinrich IV, actually, but I guess we could do that when talking about the other guys here that will be more important for this playthrough. And those three guys are him here, Gottfried the Bearded, and we have Hermann of the Erzbischof dynasty, and we have the aforementioned Archbishop Anno of Cologne. Maybe let's stay with him for a moment. Anno was this very powerful and power-hungry, not even in an ecclesiastical sense, but also in a worldly sense, man who tried to tie the Rhine area to the archbishopric rather than to anyone else. And he had several means to do so. He famously got a hold of Kaiser Heinrich IV. I think it's not in the game, right? Sadly, that could or should be in here, actually. There is this very famous castle, or it's a Pfalz, right? So that's the place where the Kaiser would go on his itinerary. Whenever he's moving from place to place, he could stay at one of his Pfalzen. So one of them is called Kaiserswerth, and that is around here, somewhere north of Düsseldorf nowadays. And that is where he was staying in 1162, and that's where the famous coup d'etat of Kaiserswerth took place, which is when, likely Anno orchestrated the whole thing, and he got a hold of the Kaiser, who was at that point, as we do see here, he was very young. Right, so he was only 12 at the time. He was heavily influenced by his mother, who was then the regent. And with this coup, Anno here basically took the regency to himself. Right, he just forced that hand, because whomever owned, whoever got a hold of Heinrich, who was more like a token at the time, a token Kaiser, and not even the Kaiser. Right, he was König at the time. We'll talk about that in a moment. And therefore was able to exert power through him. Which is why, I guess, in the game, I don't know even why they don't like each other. I guess they're both ambitious. Oh yeah, the Kaiser in this game is lustful. That's interesting. Kind of fits into things. Over domain limit. Okay. Also cynical and uncrowned currently. Okay, yeah. So the two of them hate each other, and historically that would have been through that relationship of Anno being, in a way, a mentor to Heinrich, but at the same time clearly a captor, and that is something that Heinrich would have taken away from the whole experience. All right, so how does Anno approach these worldly matters? Well, before he was in office, or at the start when he was in office, the lands surrounding Cologne, like this whole little belt here around Cologne, was highly dominated by the Erzbischof dynasty. And we see here the remnants of that in Hermann. Now, his father is rightly called the Insane in game. And that is a true story, apparently, or at least we do have that accounted for, that he killed his own wife, murdered her, in the castle of Cochem, which is now in the game here. So that is the place where that took place, apparently. The place where that took place. Anyways, you know what I'm saying. And he was also very young when the father finally died. As you do see here, that was 6 years ago. So we were born 11 or 12 at the time. So very similar to Heinrich here. And he also became somewhat... don't really want to say like captive. No, he was more like a ward to Archbishop Anno. And Anno used this relationship to take away some of the power that the Edzonen had. And that especially concerns the territories east of the Rhine. Or as we would say, to the right side of the Rhine. And it's also like when the Rhine comes from that direction here, so therefore that's the right side of it. That's the left side, which is very important for Germans in the area. People from the west or left side of the Rhine consider themselves highly cultured, whereas people from the right side of the Rhine are looked down upon. The famous term used in Cologne is Schelsig, roughly translating to the sick side, right? So, that is the kind of relationship that we have here. That comes from earlier times. Of course, the land around from Aachen to Cologne, as you do see here in game, it is highly fertile. That would have been the case as well at the time, and this was cultivated long ago, right? That was ancient Roman lands. Of course, Cologne is a Roman founding and was a very important city throughout the existence of the Roman Empire. And then we have the right side of it, and that area here was really only, starting to be populated in the early medieval era, right? So around, historians argue there's several points to be made. Some say it was in the 9th century, some say it was in the 10th or 11th century. But so this area here was before that very much a large big forest. You don't see that in the game, and the map is not really very precise here, which I don't like. This is actually a very hilly area. I live here, by the way, and there were only just roads, networks of sunken roads that led from here into Cologne, right, from here to there, and Anno now gains control over these lands gradually. Famously, there was a big castle in what is nowadays the town of Siegburg. And, back in the day, it was also Siegburg. But there was a big castle there, and Anno converted that to a monastery. And therefore had a power base here. And also people like Adolf of Berg, they really thrived under, or came into power under Anno and his predecessors when it comes to gaining land here and being able to call themselves a count in the first place. Now that's what's happening between Hermann and Anno. As we do see Hermann here, he does have all these little remnants of power, a bit scattered across the map, and that's exactly what it would have been in historical times. Now, the way I changed the mod, Regnum Teutonicum, is by actually giving him ducal power. In the mod, he is on count level, and he is then a vassal of Lower Lotharingia, and that doesn't sit right with me because he was a Pfalzgraf, meaning in game terms ducal level in his own right, and he was given those powers by the Kaiser himself. So therefore still very important here, but slightly diminished. And as you do see here, he at the time there was no male heir, and historically he died without having a male heir. So therefore then the whole thing collapsed, right? We do have a Pfalzgraf later on, and there's like nowadays we have a whole region that's called Palatinate, and that's around here actually, right? Not here, but around here. So the counties or the territory that he held in that area here later on became the Pfalzgrafschaft of the Rhine. That is nowadays its own federal entity. Okay, so that's the two of them here. Well, of course, Hermann here does have it rough, but he holds Aachen. His traits are enormous, actually. I don't know. I think I should have nerfed that a little, but there we go. He has it rough anyway, so we leave him to being a brilliant strategist. All right. And he... Well, I created that. He does have this rivalry with Anno, right? Because of, again, he was the ward of Anno, and Anno took his liberties with that. He is also, right, we do see that here, interestingly, a rival with Albert of Namur. That is a bit anachronistic. They were actually rivals, but that came much later. In the 1080s, I think, or 1090s, is when Hermann married and he accused Albert of Namur of sleeping with his wife. The two famously had a duel, and Albert actually killed Hermann in that one. So that's where that comes from. They shouldn't actually be rivals at the time here. I guess I'll leave it to that, right? That's fine. Okay, so the third power block here, and the largest one at the time, would have been through Gottfried the Bearded. So you see here, he has large control over the lower Rhine area. It's called the Bearded, so I guess it's fine for him to have this massive beard. He was older at the time, as we do see here, older and a little wiser, perhaps. He kind of represents the old establishment, the old power that lingered in that area here. He, at some point, held the title of Upper Lotharingia as well, or competed for it, I'm not sure right now. And he wanted to create this large power block in that area here through which he could exert his influence. He was large, he was very influential at the time, married to Beatrix, and she was, at the time, and the game is not reflecting that appropriately, she was actually the Duchess or Marquess, what we'll call that, Markgräfin of Tuscany. Not her daughter, not at the time. And through the marriage here, Gottfried had a lot of dealings with Italy. Actually spent a lot of time there, fighting for control over Italy. And so his concern was not mainly here in that area, but he did exert all this control. He will lose that control, or the duchy itself will lose control of many of these territories here when he dies. But we do see here that the Duchy of Lower Lotharingia is not the jure duchy of these counties up here. I changed part of that again because Lower Lotharingia at the time already was kind of an anachronism. And as we do see here, when we go for duchy titles, I created one for Berg as well, because that will become a duchy in the future. And that was the trajectory. We were going for smaller duchies that held more control and more power regionally, instead of big duchies that had very little control. Right, that was a thing of the past. Okay, so long story short, where do we start to play? I figured that I wanted to start in that area here where Anno had taken some form of control, and I thought, why not go to this little county here where Siegburg is actually in. Now, again, this guy here is an anachronism, but I thought it would be fun to already have a Count of Sayn in that time. At that time, the first Count of Sayn is accounted for in the beginning of the 12th century. Well, it's not that far away, and it might as well there might as well have been a Count of Sayn at that point in time. We don't know. Certainly would have not been called the County of Sayn. That county here was called Auelgau back in the day. So you have Gau at the end, and that is the old system of counties that we had, or established through the Carolingians. That was on decline as well. So why not start calling it Sayn anyway? As we do see here, he is now part of the archbishopric. So, well, I guess I can already switch to him now. So, there you go, switch character. There you go. Can also turn that off now. That's the cheat mod. We don't want to use the cheat mod. And I thought about it and said, okay, well, there could be an argument that he should also be a vassal of Hermann. But I think to represent this taking back of control of the area from Anno made more sense to me to give the county, or to have the county as a vassal of Cologne. Now, whom else do we have here in that area? We have, of course, the Count of Berg. That is Adolf III. I don't know why that's the third, really. Apparently, or I think I've criticized that in the past when I talked about the mod, is I don't see Berg being related to any of the other houses or dynasties in the area. From what I know is that the father of Adolf here would have been a vogt, so some kind of bailiff in the area, and he was just like elevated to that status, likely by the archbishop. I will take it as it is. So in our game here, he is part actually of the Erzbischof dynasty, which kind of makes it interesting, given that we also have the Saffenberger here, who are also part of the Erzbischof dynasty, but are now inside or in a vassal relationship to Archbishop Anno, while their dynasty or house head is having the Palatinate that kind of still somewhat surrounds the area. It gives us a bit of an insight into the dynamic that's at play here. And we are part of like these four other vassals here, or three other vassals. That's Adolf of Berg, as I already said. We have Eberhard of Hochstaden. Okay. Apparently part of the Châtenois dynasty. All right. And again, Hermann III of Saffenberg. Gives it way more lineage, like I guess people had at the time. Right? That was very much a time of change where up-and-comers were the norm. Like our good Siegfried here. So he is part of his own dynasty of Sayn. And as you do see here, I've created him from scratch. I thought about, like, why not have a redhead? Why not have him with a bushy red beard? That's well, likely. We do have redheads in Germany, so that's a thing. And I thought, why not? I gave him some traits that were underrepresented, I guess, in my earlier playthroughs. So he's trusting. He is chaste. He is vengeful and a principled man. He was educated to be a diplomat. He is already scarred, and from my interpretation, that isn't necessarily a wound, but rather maybe some kind of illness, sickness he had as a child. Oh, he's also charming, apparently. I did not add that. That was the game. Thank you, game. Okay. So how do I play this? Well, as you do see here, when you combine trusting with vengeful, that kind of makes for a character who somehow does have a simple understanding of his surroundings, right? He divides people in good and bad. That's where also his principles come in, right? So you're either on his good side, then he will treat you well, or you're on his bad side, and then he will go against you. So I think he's like very polar when it comes to that. It's not a very difficult character when it comes to that. But again, obviously that clashes with his diplomatic abilities. So what I'm thinking is he is more someone who interprets diplomacy as in looking for what's right. And we do see that he actually is the chancellor for Archbishop Anno. So very powerful position. So he would have to do with lots and lots of contracts of any kinds. He puts the seal of the Archbishop on any kind of official documents and stuff. He would be schooled in law. And I think that is how he would, or that I would interpret his role as a, diplomat, less in a negotiator way and more in a someone who is interpreting the law and ruling in accordance to that. I put in chastity there because why not? People at the time actually usually were very chaste. I think the game is misrepresenting that to a degree. And to me, that just means that he isn't really after the sins of the flesh, if I would put that dramatically. And that is just not an area that he's looking into. He's concerned with his work, and that's about it, right? He obviously is going to marry. He obviously wants to have children, but that would be more of a duty to him and less of joy, something to look forward to. Right, so that's Siegfried here. Again, he is a fictional character. There's no Siegfried of Sayn accounted for at the time, but doesn't really matter that much because a lot of people at the time are not accounted for, and the game takes huge liberties. That people like Green ITV with Regnum Teutonicum tries to mend a little. Okay, so how do we start? Of course, I already said that we are in a good position here. We're already the Chancellor. That gives us a prestige boost. That is quite nice. That is something I guess we will make use of a lot in several ways because... might as well do that now. I brought back a mod. I forget the name now, by the way. Is it Feudal Manor? I think it's Feudal Manor. And I can found a feudal manor. That means I'm going to have my own little domicile that is for my house, the Sayn family. There we go. And there we are. We start at the very beginning. We have a fortified villa. And we can add to that. And the interesting part that the creator of the mod is doing here is that we don't buy these things with gold, but rather with prestige. And I like that very much. Because, whenever you play, normally you would end up like never having enough gold and always ending up with, 2,000 or 3,000 prestige that you can never use for anything. So that's quite nice, actually. Now, how are we going to use that? We can build an altar, we can build barracks, a watchtower, guardhouse, a garden, barn, workshop, storage barn, market, grazing land, grain fields, a vineyard. Yeah. I'm not sure whether that is a modern thing. But yeah, that region here is actually famous for wine. Kind of like one of the northernmost regions that actually produce wine. That area around the Rhine here is very idyllic. Like it's kind of a holiday destination, right? So you have the Rhine, and to the left and right you have hills going upwards, and then you have those vineyards all across the hills. Looks quite nice. So what are we going to do with our manor? Of course, as we do see here, we can buy that with prestige. And I think one or two things. Either we're going to build a market here, or we are going to build grain fields. Well, both of these things make sense to me. That being said, the area in itself is not very famous for its agriculture. And I think we already have in Sayn, we already have the harbor here. So going a bit further and saying that we establish a market here makes a lot of sense to me. You need to look out for plague resistance, as we do see here. It goes down by 5. That's not very nice. We'll gain some popular opinion, actually, some development growth, and some nice plus 0.3 domicile income. That's going to be great. I'll take that. So there we are. We have our own manor here. Good stuff. Now, I can choose a lifestyle. There you go. And again, not going to foreign affairs focus. Also, I don't think family focus is great here. He already has the first 2 perks in August. So I'm guessing majesty focus is what we're looking for. And again, that fits into what I was saying. He is not looking to be this negotiator, but rather looking for representing his knowledge of diplomacy and law through authority. So there we go. It's going into that path here. That's fine. Who else do we have? Well, we do have a man-at-arms regiment, and that is armored footmen. That's great, right? That's the best we can get at the start. It's just 1, so we don't have the biggest military, right? I guess the others here outnumber us. Well, no, quite similar. He does have two pikemen. No, 200. And also have knights. Okay. Let's get back to that in a moment here, because I did see that, well, that's not the best distribution here when it comes to our council. I guess we can find better use for them. Let's hope so. Yes. Alarich. Alarich here is actually quite decent in martial, so you're going to be the marshal. The marshal with the martial ability. Oh, our steward is actually quite capable as a chancellor. So there we go. Let's have the 2 of them. I guess he could already train commanders. That gives us the ability to be able to recruit people randomly. Sorry for that. Yeah, I guess that means we don't really have anyone here who could serve as a steward. Which means, Tankov here, I'm very sorry, but you're getting fired. There you are. I guess he could serve as a knight. It's fine. Look at his beard. He has a very nice beard. He has that going for him. I guess apart from that, he's not very useful. But that's what he has. That's his thing. Spy Master. It's the council position here that I'm most cross about. That's not really a very historical thing. The way I interpret this role is more of someone who's savvy when it comes to courtly intrigue, general like behavior at court. So yeah, makes sense to have that position, to have a woman in that position. Then again, she's not the best at that, so I guess we can do without. I don't think he needs that terribly. Only if at some point maybe someone's going after his life, then we would need it. But I don't think he's going to make offensive use of it. That's what I'm saying. Okay. Can pay homage. Yeah, we can establish house traditions. I will just put the check or uncheck it for now, because we are just getting established. So if we made a name for ourselves, it would make sense to have these house traditions established. That being said, paying homage and maybe petitioning could be something that we can do. I might look into... Oh yeah, we can actually have people at court. Or additional people. Look at her. Theodelinde von Köln. Look at that. That's about as good as you can get. All right, okay. So her daughter is at our court, currently traveling to it, because she is a maiden. Right, so looking to get married at our court, and she would join. I guess she would also tag along her younger daughter. That's also fine. Well, she is going to be a handful, no doubt about that. She's going to be very dominant in that role. And, yeah, okay. But I think that's where his trusting aspect comes into. He will give people the benefit of the doubt, I guess. If they go behind his back or anything like that, I guess he can be very vindictive when it comes to that. But if they do their job well, then that's no point of complaining. Okay, do we need some core positions? I guess we could have a physician. Obviously, the usual choice is always the bishop. I don't like to do that for several reasons. Mostly because, yeah, he is the bishop. He does have his own things to do. And being a physician, that doesn't really fit into that. People that were considered being healers and so on, they're largely outside of society to a degree, really. Which means, of course, we all know the healing woman, right? That's one of the archetypes of that time. I guess it would make sense to put this Hildegard in here. Give her a chance to improve her skills. She's now poor. She will at least get to average when she gets the physician traits. That's fine. That's fine for me. Also look into what languages we learn at court. That's just really high German. When it comes to Latin, yeah, the bishop is probably able to teach Latin, but that's not the type of court that we are portraying here. Do we need anything else, really? Yeah, I'm not sure. I guess we could put Tankulf in that position. Now we've taken away his little job. Oh, look at him being a simpleton. He can also improve his skills. That's a good part about having so much prestige. We can afford it. But apart from that, I don't think we terribly need anything else, really. At least not for now. Okay. Okay. So the bishop doesn't really like us that much. He himself is lustful. Okay, yeah. So that's why he doesn't like us. He is... and we are vengeful, so that's considered a sin, so there we are. We're also chaste, that's a virtue, so, okay, that evens itself out. Yeah, it's at -4, I mean, it's not that much, but I guess what we can do is establishing relationships here. In that case, again, I don't think it's much about persuasion, it's more about, like, representing to that bishop here that we are pure of heart, and being a good count, especially in his relationship to the archbishop. And speaking of the archbishop, we already know that we are his chancellor. He actually has a +1 opinion of us. Great stuff. What I did change is that, and I think the message down here says it already. The base game, for whatever reason, puts him at Saxon. And that's not true. The Steußlingen, it's Steußlingen, by the way, not Steutzlingen. The Steußlingen are from Swabia. So he's Swabian. That's a minor little thing I edited. So there we go. Anno. What can we do with Anno? I think the feeling that we would have towards him are feelings of gratitude. He elevated us into that station here, gave us control of that area. It's an interdependence, right? He needs us as well. He cannot control all of these areas here directly after, like, not saying the dissolution, but rather the lack of control of the Pfalzgrafschaft in that area here. He needed new people to come into play, and we are one of them. Now, one thing that I've also got in through a mod, I think it's called Landless something or other. Jesus Christ. You will see it I'll always post my mod list in the description, so you can see it there. But there actually is the option here, and I think it's a bug in the mod, but again, I don't really see that as a bug. We can seek court employment. So what does that mean? That means you'll become a direct aid to him, and we will have the ability to go to his court, stay there, and work at his court. And I think that kind of fits very nicely with this idea of us also being the chancellor. So I'll gladly take it, and we are offering Anno here our employment. There we go. Right. What else can we do that we haven't done already? Of course, there's the matter of him marrying. I had a quick look. I wasn't really going like, yes, that one's it. Yeah, not even close. And the thing is, he wouldn't necessarily think about marriage at this point in time. Sorry, I need to drink. When you see, or when you take a look into chronicles of the time, and you would see marriages, men were usually quite old, well, at least to our standard, when it comes to when they marry. Of course, when you play the game, you always are like, oh, he's 16, let's marry him off. Especially when it's the heir, right? Because you need the people for your dynasty. But that was not very, at least early medieval. People would establish themselves, and once they're established, they marry. I think Adolf here is accounted for marrying in the 1090s, and that's where he would have been in his late 40s, I think. So I think with Hermann too. Hermann in our times, in the real historical times, married in the 1080s, 1085, somewhere around there, I think. And as you see here, he would have been already 36 at the time. So people don't marry that young. Not sure if that really was a thing at the time, or if that was just circumstance. But there we go. I don't think he feels the need. He probably feels like very much, he wants to do things. He doesn't think about becoming a father, creating a family, all these kind of things. Nah, he wants to do stuff, and that's where he is going to start. So we're going to ignore that for the time being. And get into it like it's 10 years into the future or so. Oh, let's see. Whenever we feel the time is right. Anyways, okay, so we are doing stuff. By the way, what is our court like? We do have all these people here. Who is he? Modestus von Schwarzburg. Ooh. I mean, putting a 17-year-old who's quite talented in that position, maybe we can actually put him back into the stewardship position. Because he's 8. 8 is not terrible, and I do have that mod installed where the counselors gain experience over time, so he will get better, hopefully. Which means we can put our good Modestus in here. It's always nice to have a fellow aristocrat on the council. There he is. And he's 35. I think that's the good time for him to be able to marry. Oh yeah, I can reset that to the defaults. There we go. Might as well go for that union. Clara. I guess that would make sense as well. I think when the time comes, I only have 100 piety right now, so I don't want to all waste it on her. It's a 29% chance, okay. But it would be, I think, would be more fitting for her to be a nun. Makes more sense to me. There we go. Well, maybe we take that union then here. They're both cynical. I guess that works for them. So, I don't know. She is lowborn, of course, but then he isn't really on the top tier level of aristocrats, so he will be fine, I guess. Yeah, there we go. Immediately resolved, of course. Don't have anyone for this position here, but we know who is coming. Anyway, so I guess we could hit start and see what happens, right? Oh yeah, by the way, something that we must never forget is, and I guess for him that makes absolutely sense, passing limited crown authority here. There you go. Apart from that, yeah, notified when joining grand tournaments. So we notify for that as well. Already set. Great stuff. I think that's it. And I'm only 50 minutes in. That's quite good. Okay. So let's start. Let's hit the play button. Right, she has arrived at court. Does she have someone to look after her? She does. She is looking for learning education. Well, I guess she can learn from our personal physician in that case. There you go. Right. To my vassal. There is a place available at my court, should it please you to accept it. It is good that Grafschaft of Sayn should have a representative in the capital, and you shall receive fair compensation for your services. Yeah, you will not regret that decision, my lord. There we go. Received at the doors by attendants and aides, you enter the heart of Erzbischof Anno's court. This is the seat of House von Steusling. No, it is not. This is, of course, he's an archbishop. He's not there for his house or dynasty. He's there for the archbishopric. You are ushered inside to sit and wait in the audience chamber of his holy place, left within the silent solemnity of these hallowed Christian walls with naught but a few devotees quietly chatting amongst themselves to distract you. Why are they doing that? Don't distract me. Eventually, Erzbischof Anno enters the chamber. A nervous aide at the Erzbischof's side whispers something in his ear. Noticing your arrival, Anno motions you over. You kneel to deliver the oaths you had memorized, and then the Erzbischof bids you to rise, clearly well practiced with these proceedings. Thank you, Siegfried. I'm sure you shall be an invaluable asset to the court. I shall serve you well. And this is giving us a boost, actually, as we do see. We get lots more tax now. We do get more stress. That's something to, I don't know. I guess it's not that great, but we'll take the money, definitely. Gain some opinion as well. And I guess now is a good time to pay homage. I could also check that one here. We can now, anytime, I think there's a delay like for half a year or so. A cooldown, sorry, that's the word, where we can use this, and then we can actually go to the court and stay there, and do stuff. Anyways, but what I will do for now is actually paying homage, which kind of should be what we just did, right? I guess that makes sense. So we are going to Cologne. We will have to travel through Isenburg. And that is a dangerous, dangerous forest. That's the 32% chance of danger. We're taking it. Are we taking the danger? Do we like the danger? I guess it kind of makes sense to maybe afterwards at least visit the Pfalzgraf. That's a 15%. That's fine. You know what? I guess for now, he's trusting. He trusts in the ability of Tankulf here that nothing will go wrong. Nothing. Nothing at all. Start the traveling. All right. Going. Oh. Well, I guess we are in the area. Frankfurt is down here. Frankfurt has become the crossroads of the world. The Herbstmesse, the Autumn Fair, has drawn merchants from Venice and Novgorod, London and Constantinople. The streets overflow with exotic goods, silks from the east, furs from the north, spices that perfume the air with mystery. But such wealth attracts danger. Tankulf has spotted suspicious characters watching your party, perhaps thieves, perhaps worse. The narrow alleys between merchant stalls, anything can happen. Jürgen, a Venetian merchant, approaches with an offer. You look like someone who appreciates Jürgen, the Venetian merchant. That's a very Italian-sounding name. You look like someone who appreciates opportunity. I have a proposition that could make us both very rich. I think, that should make you skeptical. If someone approaches you saying he's a Venetian merchant and then calling himself Jürgen. Well, we are trusting, but we're not dumb, right? There's a difference. I want to make that clear. No, I don't think we are looking for any of these things. No, we don't have any interest in that. We're also not here to shop anyway. No, we don't have any interest in those quote-unquote Venetian schemes, and we wish him a good day and we carry on traveling. All right. By the way, the game kind of opens up the Rhine River and it ends around here, and that afterwards just becomes this kind of small little river thing. Of course, in medieval times, the whole Rhine down to up to Basel probably was able to being shipped, right? So you could use a ship to travel up and down. Of course, it was very, very important. That's why the whole area was quite rich. Okay. We are traveling to Cologne. By the way, beautiful, isn't it? From the Medieval Arts mod, one of the best mods for CK3 out there, really. I've never played without it, as it adds so many landmarks and cities, right? As you do see here, we have Paris, there's Bruges, there's London over here. It just adds so much to the map, I think, when it comes to immersion. Right? And we definitely know that Cologne here is a big place, a very important place. Alright. Servants usher me into Erzbischof Anno's great hall in Cologne, where he sits on his throne waiting to hear my pledge. They never really... That typo is still there from the beginning. I kneel at the feet of my lord and pledge the many oaths of homage as his scribes record the event. That is the scribes that work for myself. So there we are. With that, the ceremony is complete. I have nothing to offer my Erzbischof except my promise to faithfully serve as a vassal of the Erzbistum. That should be enough. Anno bids me to arise and confirms his satisfaction, along with my rights to the lands I rule in his stead. Hail the Erzbischof. There we go. We're getting more prestige by the minute. And while we're here now, and that's the other part, like either we can travel from Sayn to Cologne through attend court, or when we, by any chance, are already here, we can already attend court. There we go. The Erzbischof's court is bustling with activity, as usual. It would be nice to enjoy the luxuries of more prestigious courts, but you survive. Okay. There are always rumors circulating at court, however today seems unusually quiet. Now, there's a number of things we can do now. We can request a court position. So, I mean, hey, why don't you make me court chronicler? That actually makes sense, doesn't it? Although apparently you are very poor at it. So, not very convincing. I guess we have to have more learning when it comes to that. No, I don't want to be a gardener or bodyguard. That's not it. By the way, these are people here from his court. Egilbert and Völkel. Okay. We can perform courtly duties, and that is something very interesting to do. As you do see, we have a variety of things we can do here. Just generic courtly duties. We consult with patricians, commend, the crown, quote unquote, to religious leaders, liaise with minority vassals, distribute arms, and develop the county. Very interesting. And I think his task, or what Anno would want at this point, would be to consult with minority vassals, right? That seems right to me. Because he would like to have a good relationship with all the different small counts in the area, well, including us, of course. But I guess this one makes most sense, and that's something we can do. Just maybe before I do that, there's also the possibility to indulge in courtly luxuries, and that one is a bit misleading, because when we go in here, we can also retire to the lodgings, and in there we can actually work. And we get prestige, or we can pray, we get piety. By the way, there's a whole system behind this too. Right now we are... Our court performance is unimpressive, and that can go up by working directly, and that is through retiring to the lodgings and then working for prestige. I'm not going in there now because I'm not sure if I can return. That would gain us some of these points, and of course by performing our duties, and that's where we're going. So I want to liaise with minority vassals. There we go. And now that's the same scheme thing that we normally have. And I guess at this point it's going to be difficult, right? We're not that established yet. People don't know us well. So therefore, people are not willing or that willing to help. Right. So what do we do here? Obviously, we need to do better than 30% here. And I guess someone who would like to help us actually is the Archbishop of Trier. Of course, he does have an interest in the Archbishopric of Cologne doing well, right? So they're kind of working together. They're currently not direct competitors to anything. They never really were. So makes sense to have him here. Now, what would be the thing that we ask of him? I guess he could then help us. Of course, if you interpret this in a roleplay way, then it's not him doing direct work on this, but rather this is exchange with the Chancellor of Trier in that case, probably, and using that leverage. Now at 59%, that's quite nice. Can we get any higher? There is the Markgraf of Steiermark. Okay, that's very far away. Maybe he does have an interest in that region here. Maybe he has some qualms with maybe Gottfried the Bearded, because they both have an interest in Italy, I guess. So he would be helping in that regard as well. Or we can actually rely on Werner of Magdeburg. Maybe one of them can also be an assistant here. So maybe that's what we're going for. And oh, he's really, really good, right? Marshal 26. Wow. Well, you know what? We take Werner here, because I'm hoping that I can use... Yeah, there we go. He is quite good at these things as well. Assistant, again. It's not really direct assistance, I would say. Coburg is having an interest here. But okay, let's take him now. Now we need another assistant. Coburg is willing to help. We'll take the offer. And now the Comte of Besançon. Okay. We're already really good here. And that makes sense. I'm going to take him, because that really makes sense. Again, maybe that is in opposition to Gottfried the Bearded. Having a strong archbishopric kind of counters the strength of Gottfried the Bearded in the area, and we know that the Herzog of Upper Lotharingia has some qualms with Gottfried the Bearded, because he's still maintains the notion that he should be ruling over Upper Lotharingia. So that setup makes sense to me. As you do see here, this will go quite quickly. We have only 10 days until the next phase, and we have established our links here. Good stuff. By the way, he does have siblings. Oh, she's already 33. She's 18. There's this. I don't know where this is coming from. Probably something to do with EPE in combination with vanilla files, or even in combination with what's it called? Community flavor pack. Because they have these ugly foreheads here that I don't know how they come into being. Irmengard von Nellenburg. That is the sister of the Archbishop of Trier, of course. That would be quite something. I do see here, he's almost willing to accept. -17. She is at his court here. Zürich. Is there anything we can do? Of course, I guess we can send him a gift. A little something. But I think it would not suffice, right? That's 14 would not suffice. I don't want to give him that much money. Maybe let's check and see. I guess we could try to sway him. Currently, we're still trying to sway our own bishop. It's at -4. Of course, this is going up, right? Because part of this is short reign, and short reign here will gradually go down. Let's keep it at the back of our heads. Doesn't really matter if she's married in 2 months anyway. Alright, okay, so that was our first little trip to Cologne. Done our work here, and now we're leaving for the time being. Oh, by the way, did we... Oh yeah, there she is. Theodelinde von Köln. There she is. Right, she's 34 with 2 daughters. I don't think she's going to remarry anyway. Jesus Christ. Well, no one's going to go against us now. Now, we are visiting the court of Hermann Etzonen. Now, he doesn't like us. That makes sense, because he's a title claimant. Interesting, right? He's a title claimant. He has a claim to... there we go. Grafschaft of Sayn. For whatever reason, that is a pressed claim, even. Come on. Well, there we are. He is a claimant to our title because, as we have established before, he had a castle in Siegburg. So that part of the world belonged to him. Until recently, I think. Very recently. Just a few years ago, I think. 1 or 2 years ago. Anyways, okay, so we are visiting. We are just making sure that he knows of us and that we are no pushover. And now we're returning back home to a cozy little castle. Yeah, I guess we can go normal speed. Also got some diplomacy, lifestyle experience, of course. That's always nice to have. The inn we stayed at in Bonn last night was horrible, to say the least. Something about the quality of its bedding and atmosphere did not sit well with many of us, myself included. We tried to sleep last night, As we ride onwards today, everyone in my entourage is visibly tired and exhausted. Well, I'm not going to pay for that, so we are going to take the stress, guys. That's fine. I don't think we have a very big entourage anyway, right? There's Hildegard and Tankulf. Hildegard and Tankulf. The Rhine narrows here, rushing between towering cliffs in a tumult of white water. Above the most treacherous stretch rises the Lorelei rock, a sheer pillar of slate that has claimed countless ships and sailors. Gerhard, your boatman, crosses himself as you approach. The golden maiden sits atop that rock at dusk, he whispers. She sings and men forget their oars, forget their lives, forget everything but her voice. The current takes them and the rock finishes finish what she started. As if summoned by his words, the setting sun paints the cliff top gold. For a moment you could almost swear you see a figure there, but it is only shadow, surely. Only shadow. Ooh. Okay. Of course, there is the legend of the Lorelei. I'm not really sure if that is a medieval thing. Because there's a very, very famous romantic poem, so it's from the 19th century. That's all about the Lorelei and so on. And this kind of siren that sits atop the rock. The rock itself exists. There's a nice little venue there that's used for concerts and so on. Nowadays. And yeah, okay, we'll bear with it, right? So we'll say this is a historical thing as well. Now, what do? We get a special option here that is due to our trusting trait, and that is the old spirits hold power here. We should leave an offering. Now, do we interpret his trusting trait as also being somewhat superstitious? That may as well be. That may as well be. It is spending gold, but I would like to, have him take a direction through these events as well. Not just saying no to everything or whatever. Let's say he is superstitious to a degree and believes in higher powers and what they could do. So yeah, okay, he leaves an offering, in turn gaining just a little bit of piety. Oh yeah. Oh no. As we trek through Isenburg, our caravan has stopped at a clearing bordered by dense undergrowth. I proceed toward the commotion only to find Hildegard and Tankulf having an irate row. Hildegard is loudly whining. What will we ever make it to Sayn? I simply cannot go another mile. We shall arrive when we arrive. Your ungrateful whinging brings nothing but a foul mood to the rest of the entourage. Were it up to me, we'd have left you in Cologne. Oh dear. Yeah, okay. So how do we approach this? Of course, it would be best to let them resolve this and make amends to each other, because we cannot have the two of them hating on each other. At the same time, I said that is not really his approach as a diplomat. So this kind of pains me, because I would like to have the lifestyle experience, I guess, and the prestige. But yeah, I think I'll take that one here. We don't have time for your petty squabbling. He has more important things to do, right? So there we go. Anyways, so right. We can go inside again. Why am I sharing power with Clara? That is not right. Let me check this one here again. Yeah, she's also self-interested, not good at her job, and she is just the wife of Modestus. That's why is she? Okay. Whom would we take then? I guess Modestus would make sense. He's also not the worst at it. Alavich has the higher succession score. He's also poor at it. And then we have the bishop, who's like in the middle of it. And whose approval we need somewhat. I'm going to pick the bishop in that case. Does he like us better then? Yes, he does. He does. Which means we don't actually need to flatter him anymore. Which kind of, again, that goes more, that's more in tune with who Siegfried is as a person, I think. But he also knows that sometimes flattery is needed. And is she still available? She is still available. So how about we switch and say we can... Huh? I cancelled the wrong scheme. Okay. All's fine. I'm good. Nothing to see here. Ah, that's painful. Unavailable till the 6th of December. Oh, that's bad. That's really bad. Okay. So I guess it doesn't break our back. Huh. So we lost that. We lost that scheme. I guess we can restart it when we get back to it. It's actually a petition that we can reasonably make. Bailiffs, resettling subjects now. None of these make much sense. Not now, anyway. So let's maybe wait. It is the 12th of December, and winter is approaching, so the question would be, is that really the time to, again, travel? I guess if we would do it more strictly, we would say no. It's the time to stay at home. And, well, it's about to be the 25th, so we're about to enter the 12 days of Christmas, as we had them back then. The song is true. So we would celebrate Christmas until the 6th of January. There we go. Oh, what's happening here? Oh. Oh. Haven't been asked to participate, have we? The Archbishop is under attack. From Hermann. And Hermann here is waging war. And he is going for the claim of Graf Gerhard III. That is his... Oh, that's part of his domain, right? That's his vassal here. And he does have a claim on the Grafschaft of Hochstaden. I think that's that one here. Him. And... Alright. That's not very good for Anno, I would say. So... It's also not the best time, I guess, to mobilize. But I think in that situation, we would want to help. Definitely don't want to have... we don't want Etzo... no, not Etzo. He's from the Etzo. We don't want to have Hermann gaining more influence again in that area here, because at some point we know he will get back to us. So maybe let's just offer to join the war. There we go. And what little armies we have, we are going to raise. By the way, who is in here as our knights? He makes sense as a knight. They... I don't think both of them should be in that position. I know we have less knights now, but it makes sense. So let's get them, and let's try to at least be there before he is. Right? That's going to be critical. Oh yeah, there we are. We declare for our liege. Okay. We also get more people joining us. That's good, actually, right? That's looking good. Oh, that's not so good. Why did he do that? That was bad. That was terrible. Ah, okay. So we are already. Well, does it make sense to get into there? Because he is already going back. They are meeting up here. Ooh, that's rough. Oh, he's on average now. I guess he can go to prepare armies. That means we are... Jesus Christ, if I zoom in, we're going to hear the bells from the church all the time. So I better not do that. So we are a bit faster. It doesn't make sense to help them because he is going to get in there. Now that was really stupid. That was really stupid. They shouldn't have done that. Again, so now we're going over there and we're meeting up with the others. And we hope that we can get a stable position. Ugh. Yeah, that was a lost cause. Really stupid. Anyways, that should be sufficient, right? Okay, yeah. We are here, they are there. Do they have... Oh, yeah. He already has siege equipment. That's not good. Oh, they have siege equipment. Okay. Alright. Well. I guess that will take them... Yeah. We will have to take it back at some point. We can murder him. Okay. He's not participating, is he? Can we make him participate? No, we can't. Okay, he's coming back. Well, at least we didn't lose too many people. What's happening here? Whoop. No. No, you cannot be serious. He's now taking part as well. Ay, ay, ay. What are they doing here? What are they doing? Ah, okay, they're fighting each other. Okay, so this is bad. Somehow the two of them here have joined forces. I guess that is through... It's negotiated. Okay. Although I think there is some relationship here, because his mother, Hermann's mother, it was Matilda before she was murdered. That is the sister of Gottfried. Okay, so that makes sense. That does make sense. All not very good. These are like two formidable armies here. Although, I guess his army is not that great. Well, he has 200 armored footmen. That is good. That is, I'll give him that. Alright, they are doing their thing down there, I guess. Okay. That is bad, because he will still get the defensive bonus here, so that will mean he will not get... He will not get the further negative points. Okay, so they're leaving. I guess we should do as well then. Oh, we could at least stay here. That says we will definitely lose, although I'm not sure, because we are in a good defensive position here. We'll see. We'll see. There's nothing much we can do. We are doing our best. That's the only thing we can do, really. We are doing our best. And we are the commander. Look at that. Commander. Yeah, he's a better commander. That's the problem. With his brilliant strategist. He was not a brilliant strategist by any means. Well, I think everyone's... he was rather a footnote in history, really. Well, we'll take it as it is. Stood on the ridge overlooking the Battle of the Herrschaft of Berg. A short distance from the front lines, me and Erchanger observe the enemy forces' movements. Everything is going as planned in accordance to what I organized at the start of the battle, when suddenly Erchanger turns to me and points out an unexpected enemy rush into the weaker section of our main force. We must reposition our men to defend the charge, he says, before asking to go himself to assist in commanding the tactical changes needed. I will handle this. Men with me, or Erchanger, go and fix that mess. Yeah. I guess we are trusting and so on. He should be doing that. After sending Erchanger to halt the enemy advance... Who is he anyway? He is... okay. Oh, by the way, I forgot something. I forgot to actually... the game did it automatically. Okay. To set some commanders here. That's another mod, by the way. Yeah, a few minutes pass as I'm distracted by other happenings before Erchanger startles me, appearing next to me bloodstained and wounded. my lord, I have failed you, says Erchanger, as I look over at the enemy advance to see it unscathed by Erchanger's effort. Fine, I'll do it myself. Jesus Christ. Okay, so that was not very successful. Stood strong in the face of the enemy, my soldiers have fought valiantly so far in the Battle of Berg, but are slowly growing tired as their foes push harder and harder and rage against their demise. After a prolonged period of combat and a strong enemy counter-push, my men are stumbling around, exhausted and in dire need of motivation. Seeing the opportunity to deliver some inspiration, I step up to give my warriors a stirring speech to reinvigorate them and restore their drive to continue battling against a difficult foe. Once I step up, I begin to ponder what I might say, as a few of my soldiers stop fighting to watch me in admiration. He's doing a speech. Some of you are farmers, born in the granaries that fed our nation. Some of you are villagers in the towns that we lived in and grew into the people we are now. Some of you, like me, were raised by our fathers and grandfathers to show no mercy to the scum that might threaten our borders and sisters and families we have at home. The same people who eat from our farms live in our villages and raise our children. Today we fight for those people. It's very loud, is it? For those souls who know nothing of the horrors we face on this battlefield today. Maybe today is the day I see the heavens, and maybe yours comes soon after. Let us meet in that realm as warriors, unfazed by the strength of our enemies. We fight to the end, unshaken by the storms that shake mountains to the ground. We stand unscathed by the fires of demons who may scorch our souls. We stand now together and we fight. Are you with me? I boom to my soldiers, who begin to shout in anticipation of the combat that comes. As I raise my blade, the rumble of footsteps beside me stops the enemy advance in its tracks, and even sends some into a retreat, terrified by the blind fury I have instilled in my warriors. Okay. There's people like him now. He's a powerful speaker. He's one advantage now, and martial +1. Okay. I guess it's not going to help us. That was kind of the last. Yeah. He was addressing the 0 men still standing. Tankulf, no. No, they've got Tankulf. They even chopped off one of his legs. And botched the treatment. Damn it. We lost men. Yeah. I guess their pikemen were better than our armored footmen. Hi, okay. Yeah, we will retreat. Oh, we will retreat to Holland. Okay. Alright. They are besieging Berg now. I guess the only chance that we will have is to win from held objectives. Like, not held objectives, so make sure that he doesn't get that one here. Yeah. And that didn't work. Okay. Isn't even worth doing that still? No, it is not. She has married. So we can finally get rid of that. Well, worth a try. Do we attach ourselves to anyone here? I guess. So what are we doing? Of course, the only logical thing to do is to retreat further. And then go back. In a move that will clearly get the enemy. Who keep on besieging. But I guess we are doing this because if we went through here, we would have lost men along the way. Because this is all enemy territory now. Ugh. Are we losing men anyway, aren't we? Because we... Nah. It works, okay. It still works. I guess what would work is if we got a hold of Gerhard here and killed him. That would work. Now we are trying to... besiege Aachen. I don't think that's going to get us anywhere, because he will come back in a moment. What we really should have done is retreated to either of these spots here, trying to replenish our forces. I guess we're fine. Yeah. Don't have a caravan master now. Don't want to entrust that useless woman with it. Clara. At least they have a daughter now. And I guess I am not able to get Tankulf back. Nope. We are at war. Oh. The company of the Brabançon Wolf. Okay. Rub it in. And why are we now going for these unaffiliated guys down here who've done nothing? Okay, yeah, you go there, you lose here, and we lose here. That's yeah. Great. It's going swimmingly. Uh-huh. We were the commander again. For what it's worth. We are going down. I hope you'll make it fast. Just like, yeah. When they win this, there's nothing we can do. Oh. But we got ourselves Captain Rodrigo, the Campeador. El Cid. El Cid is going to make us win. Well, at least he is a good commander. See? He would be even better than our good Hermann here. So, but we are not going to go against 2,000 guys. That's not happening. This is all not happening. And why am I thought I was attached. Apparently I wasn't. Yeah. That's too little, too late. Too little, too late, because when he's done with that, he will definitely be at 100%, I think. Maybe if we finished before him, then he would not be, but he would be very close. Anyway, we're gonna help. Trying to be useful. Who the hell is that? Captain Argyros of House Carazzas of the Scythian Auxiliaries. Oh, okay. Jesus Christ. Where are these people coming from? Oh, this is close. Very close. Oh, and in the middle of this, we gain a diplomacy perk. Let's say prestige per night. Per 2 nights. That is better, right? I guess I don't have any powerful vassals, but at least the council opinion is +10. Well, I'll take it. I'll take it. Oh, and it. Our market is in place, and the Cumbrian people now speak Cumbrian. Cumbric. That's amazing. Thank you for telling me. There's our market. Look at it. And now the question is, like, do we... 300 prestige is quite a bit. But again, that doubles the domicile income, so it's also quite good. What could be the other thing that we could actually build here? I mean, would make sense to create a storage barn, right, in combination with the market. Well, at least does make sense to me. Yeah. Because I don't want to just min-max here and produce like everything that gives us the most money or whatever, but rather just put it like in a contextual way. So I'm guessing if we have a market, it would make sense to also have a storage bar. There you go. Right, so what's happening here? They're almost done. We are as well. The game is never that quick with deciding. Oh, by the way, I guess I could already say attach us to them. There you go. Oh, no, it's not that good, actually. All right. Right. So are we going to try to get them? No? No. We are instead going for that one here. Well, they are plundering Cologne. That is not great. That is not great at all. By the way, at any point here, we could actually travel to Cologne to attend court and then even join the war room as a decision. That's quite nice. Yeah, there's no traveling here, and especially not like moving behind the enemy lines here. Oh! My Marshal Alarich has been showing off a promising new recruit. May not be of as noble stock as you, he's lowborn, my liege, but on my name, I swear that Arnulf is someone you would want on your side. Oh, he does. Oh. Looks here like he doesn't have any arms left. He's maimed. Well, I guess I'll take Arnulf. Thank you. I'm sad to say, I guess he's taking over your position, Alarich, because with your lack of arms, you are a liability, rather than actually. He was a good man, right? He does not deserve this. At the same time, he's lowborn. Lowborn people are very, very expendable, I'm afraid. So there we go. Look at him being sad. Come on, man. Be a good sport. Be a good sport about it. Alright. That should be it. I'm guessing if he captures him, then it's over anyway. 93. Alright. The King's Guard of Radbot. Why is he getting ever more... Why is he so rich? I guess he's rich because he just sacked Cologne and they... No? The loot is still in here. Okay. I don't fully understand what's happening, but things are happening. Now he is besieging here, where the guy is that didn't want to help in the first place. Now that's what you get for not helping. Hermann, a third. Zaffenberg. Jesus Christ. Okay, yeah, 4%. I don't think we are going to get there in time. 97. Oh, we might actually. Prolonging this even further. Let us just lose with some dignity remaining. Yeah. Obi is not blaming it on me for being a bad commander. Or cancelling that scheme to talk to the minority vassals. Now we did prolong it even further. Oh dear. Oh dear. Are we done when he's done? I sincerely hope so, because I don't want them to go for Sayn. can we be done after this, please? Keep banging your shields arrhythmically. Minus... Oh no, they're coming back for us. Okay, yeah. Alright. Alright. I guess we're going to die. At least he's doing the thing now, so we do have a slight advantage. That that advantage is nothing, really. But at the end of the day, there's still 2,600 of them, and not enough of us. So, yeah. Ow! Ooh! Ah! Aww! At least I made a friend in Hermann. Oh, we're friends. That was a defeat. That was a minus 100%. What's that? My liege's war. Alright, okay. Heinrich is involved in that one. Okay. Right! Can we just... Can you get... Yeah. Alright. Oof. We're still retreating. Okay, I've been asked in the past to not immediately disband troops. This is a bit... yeah. Makes sense. So we have to guide our men back home. Come on, guys. You take the trip from the Eiselmeer back to Sayn. When it comes to bridges, there really should be a bridge here. Because there is one of the oldest Rhine bridges anyway. From Cologne to Deutz. Right. Taking our men back. I guess now would be the time. I mean, yeah, I do have some kind of responsibility towards him, right? So I should pay. Tankulf, you can come back. You'll be a great knight. Great knight with your missing leg. Jesus Christ, I just have some invalids here. Still an average Karen master, I guess. What happened to her? Disfigured. Jesus Christ. What's happening to everyone? Well, I guess I can reinstate him in that case. He can learn a little on the job. It's a bit weird to have a one-legged Karen master. It means he has to travel a lot. And traveling at the time would mean going by foot most of the time. So, alright. Now I can disband my army. We're back home. Can put up our little green cap again. It is the 4th of January. We are back in time to celebrate the last 2 days of Christmas. Hooray. Is there any petition that would make sense now? No. I guess we are fine technically. At least the county is. Of course, the archbishopric has suffered. Anu is not in the best of health. That was a demonstration of power here from Hermann, who has married into the Ivreas, notable dynasty, from Savoy. Okay, so when the snow retreats, we are going to go to Cologne and mend what's mendable. Yeah, I guess we're fine now. Attend the court. There we go. Ah, that little trouble here in the forest, that is nothing. We can compensate that. Or we can't. As we track through Isenburg. It's them again! Do they hate each other yet? No, they don't. Well, they do that again. So, at least I think he has learned that ignoring the issue doesn't make it any better. Right? So, maybe we invest the effort here, not really because we want them to make amends, but rather because we want to have peace. There we go. And it works. Good. We stopped by a town in Mayen for a quick rest. This town is known locally for its amenities and being a center of leisure. And several of the guards in my entourage got distracted by the pretty local Franconian girls. We need to go soon, but perhaps it wouldn't be a bad idea to rest some more. No. We go. Because these are all frivolities. And we don't encourage a frivolous lifestyle. There we go. You've made it to Cologne, prepared to represent the interests of Grafschaft of Sayn and the greater realm. Right? And now tells us you will stay here until you open the travel planner and choose to go home, whilst here you will be able to attend to your duties and gain courtly experience. There we are. So, we're back at it. Who is he? Regina Lambrecht's Sohn. Okay. That's someone with claims. Interesting. Now, I guess we can go back to what I wanted to do in the first place. That was liaise with minority vassals this time. Ah. Oh, look at that. This time, well, people have heard of us, I guess. So now there are much more people here who want to help us. That is good. We will take Hermann Gleiberg. That should be somewhere over here. Ah, yo. I guess this has stirred a lot of, puddles around the area, because he is now getting more powerful. People don't want that necessarily. Well, these mercenaries. So we will also take the Graf of Laufen. That doesn't make too much sense to me. He's really far away. But instead, again, I guess we can rely on him. Oh, Tuscany is even telling us that we can rely on her help. Interesting. So does Bohemia. I'd rather take Wied in this case. This is directly south of us, so that's someone from the close area who would help us here. As well as the Herzog of Holland. Again, these to me all sound like people who have an interest in the Pfalzgraf not getting too powerful. So helping in this cause here would make sense to them. Right. I guess for now we can stay for the time being, because there's much to be done. There's a lot to be done here. Making sure things are fine. Of course, there is the... He's ailing because he doesn't have money. Okay. Okay. Oh yeah, that's that thing that I wanted to mend, but forgot to do that. The Kaiser in... I don't know why that is the case. That shouldn't be the case. Does have this de jure claim to the Duchy of Latium, and that's of course where Rome is. That should not be the case at all. Because that should not be de jure territory of the Holy Roman Empire in my book. But it's going to happen. So we're going to have Heinrich going against the church. I guess they left that in to highlight the relationship between Heinrich and the Pope, which has always been bad, because he wanted more power for himself when it comes to investiture, being able to appoint his own bishops. The Pope said, no, that's my area of expertise. A thorny legal dispute has been brought before the court today, and hoping to earn the good graces of Erzbischof Anno, you have promised to take care of it. Yeah, that makes sense. Again, he's the Chancellor, and we would take on like petty legal matters. So what is it? It's a legal dispute, and we now can side with the commoners, the burghers, or the crown. Well, I guess we are into... Oh, it'd be so nice to have 50 gold, right? But no. We are here to help the archbishopric. So, in that case, we will side with the crown. Sorry. Which is not the crown, really, but you get the meaning. Oh, yeah. And now we can attend court again. See what was still there. Now, of course, we are still performing courtly duties, so in that case, I guess we can indulge in courtly luxuries. And now retire to the lodgings. Okay, we can head back here. Okay, fine. And now, we can get some rest, we can spend the time in prayer, or we can get some work done. I will give us some stress. So there we are. And not much chance to get a lot of prestige. But I think he's in the mood. He's in the mood to get some work done. And now we'll see that, well, we gained 25 prestige. That's not much. And the court performance has changed by +1. Hey! And as you do see here, oh, where is it? It's going to take a while for us to get our court performance up in that pace. Oh, we'll get there eventually. But I guess it will reset when Anno dies. So, yeah, there's that. At 92%, that's maxed out, but I guess we can go for 10 advantages, then we at least get like +5% on top. And 97% should be alright. Alright. Execute with confidence. I had no idea Erzbischof Anno felt that way about the Franconian people. Graf Hermann is clearly moved by the words you have shared these past months and has promised to try and work past their differences with your liege. See? Oh, Erzbischof Anno gains some gold even. Okay. No, I gain gold. Oh, good stuff. We also gained some prestige. He gained minority approval. Different culture opinion +5. Minority vassal opinion +15. See, that's helpful. Swabians and Franconians culture acceptance increased by +1. Oh, that's all great stuff. Right. I don't want to do this too much. Right? Because I could just stay here forever and attend court all the time and continue to farm gold. But I do think that's not what this should be about. This should be more about doing things that make sense in game terms. So I guess we will return home now. We have done our duty here for the time being. And we can go inside again. Now we are. Now we do have some gold. The question is, what do we do with the gold? Can think about constructing a new building. Could upgrade the curtain walls. Could invest in more men-at-arms, I guess, which would make sense to me. Because we just seen that against the military might of Hermann here, we are kind of... Well, we can't compete with that anyway, but at least we can try and be a bit better, I guess. So how about we increase this to 200? No. By the way, I do think we have children now at court. Well, that's her and that's her. I guess we could have Clara here with her sour, disfigured face. She could be the wet nurse. What do we want? Instill virtue, promote friendship, or encourage competition? I guess we go for friendship. For now. That's fine. Uh, 27 now. I don't think we need to think about marrying just yet. The future direction of our realm is the subject of a fierce debate between Modestus and Arnulf. They have brought their conflicting visions for my dynasty before me, each convinced they know the only true path forward. Modestus has praised my recent efforts in developing our capital's infrastructure. Arnulf dismisses this, arguing that true greatness is measured not in stone and mortar, but in the size of the army and the fear of one's enemies. Yes, that sounds like Conan to me. Crush your enemies. See them driven before you, and hear the lamentations of their women. Yeah, I think the lack of vision is holding us back here. I've just invested in the army, so it would make more sense to say, okay, this is correct. We need more army. More army is the answer, not more infrastructure. At least for now. By the way, there's this nice little mod with which you can change the idle pose. And I've made use of that because otherwise he would have this, kind of like sourpuss animation where he's looking down and be like, ugh. And I just, I don't want that. I would just want someone who looks at me directly and says, yes, I'm capable. I'm doing things. Okay, we're back here. Now, of course, we can't build here because our little villa here needs to be... well, we need 150 gold for that anyway. But we can still upgrade here. We can also have stuff in our villa. Maybe let's continue here and create a living room. Enables the ingratiate family scheme. I don't think we need that terribly much. But personal scheme phase length 10 days faster per scheme phase. That's fine. Monthly diplomacy lifestyle experience plus 5%. Yeah, okay, I'll take that. That is good for me. Oh, there they are again. Oh no, this time we are a tier higher. My fellow councillors, Hermann and Adolf, have sought me out, their faces etched with concern. They share my conviction that justice must be the bedrock of the realm. Yet they feel our liege Anno has allowed the rule of law to become inconsistent and arbitrary. They propose we jointly demand the funding of a new legal initiative. Something to ensure the law is applied fairly and consistently to all subjects, from the highest noble to the lowest commoner. It is a significant challenge to our liege's personal authority, but they argue it's a necessary one to ensure true justice prevails. That makes sense, actually. I think that makes a lot of sense to Siegfried. His nature, his trusting, vengeful, principled nature here, would want to see justice served for everyone equally. So yeah, there we go. I guess we will ask the Archbishop to go in our direction. And he refused. We're like, okay. I guess. Fine. By the way, yeah, so he's now our friend. That's something to keep in mind. Oh, they're also brothers, the two of them. Interesting. Okay. Aha. We have a perk. I guess we'll just go down that path here. I don't think I need any of the other ones here terribly, so there we go. I don't really need any of these things, right? That's maybe could even think about at some point going into other paths here. Because I don't know. I don't need court grandeur bonus. I don't need to commission an epic. Yeah. I guess having the August trade is nice. That's further down the line. I don't know. I don't think we need that terribly. So maybe we even go in that direction here and say we want to go further into Marshall. Oh, look at that. He converted from Swabian to Franconian. He realized that he's actually Franconian. I guess spending so much time here. Well, if you were to have it in a more detailed way, right? So let's see. Let's take a look at cultures. That's all Franconian here. Now we have Low Franconian over there. That area here does have its own cultural identity, which is in scientific terms called Ripuarisch. And the locals here in Cologne would call it Kölsch. And that's also the way you pronounce it. It's Kölsch in High German, and it's Kölsch for the people who live there. So there we are. That would be the local culture. Kölsch. So you're learning something here. It's a very educational channel. Mine is. Nothing much we can do, really. I guess when the winter is over, we could head back to Cologne, see what we can do there. Or to help. Or to do our job. We're also teetering on the edge of first stress level here, so that's something to keep in mind. Who's he? What kind of people do we have running around here? Icelandic. Yeah, go home. Sorry for any Icelandic people watching this. That was not a racist remark. That was more like a, what are you doing here, mate? Maybe just came to, I don't know, plunder it a little or whatever. Oh, the Viking days are over. By the way, what's up? What's up in England? Oh, he's still going. Oh. He was slain in a duel. Godefroy. This guy here. This Frenchman. He killed William the Conqueror. Well, William the Bastard, really. Didn't conquer anything, apparently. And now we have Curthose here in command. And Harold is still going strong. The Stallion, they call him now. Ugh. Yeah, and apparently he also defeated the Norwegians. Duh. He's back home. He's waging war still. He's alive. Okay. Well. Interesting things happen. England remains Anglo-Saxon. All right, yeah, we have the beginning of March again. So I guess we could return to the court. There we go. Frankbert, that's his name. That's a funny name. All right, we are back at court in Cologne. Hello, you two. Who are you? Theodelinde. That's Regina. Oh, hey. Regina Lembrechts Sohn Regina. Of House Regina. Regina. What do we do? I guess we could perform duties. And consult with patricians. Well, I guess we do have some stakes in that as well, because there's the town of Bonn. So yeah, okay. Let's help him in that regard as well. I guess it's all the same people that want to help us anyway, so I guess we can auto-invite agents at this point. We did that once to highlight what we're going for. Don't need to do that every time. Oh, and by the way, we're over the 2-hour mark, and that's usually where I leave it. And yeah, first episode, I hope it was fun. There's usually not that much happening in the first episode. We're already at a nice little war, and we are growing into the role. We will see what Siegfried is going to do. I think he's getting to that age where we'll think about marrying, so that's something to look forward to. And apart from that, we'll just see what happens. So I'll see you then. Cheers. Bye-bye.